Hi there, this is Chris with Peace of Mind Art and Crafts. This is the second part of the video where I'm making a slow stitch roll piece to roll around the spool. And I've made part one. In part one, we started to assemble everything on a long strip of muslin. It's about 36 inches long, and I went along and glued things down to the piece of muslin, and then I also did some slow stitching on it already. As you might remember, we did these stems to the flowers, so I put those on the last time, and since then I've put on some French knots for the flowers. You can see that. I've also done some slow stitching in throughout the lace. I sewed this heart onto this heart was a piece of slow stitch that was separate from the muslin that I did earlier at an earlier time, and I added it to the muslin. Got some stitching over here as well. A couple buttons actually. Here's another button. Here's a key charm. I'll show you some more in a minute. I wanted to show you, I've had kind of a difficult time with this because of my hands with the beads. So basically what I'm doing is I'm putting a bead, I don't know if you can see this or not, I'm using a needle that I thought was thin enough to go through these beads, and it is going through some of them but not all of them. So I have one on there, and I pull it down to the fabric, then I go into the fabric right after the bead to tack it down. And like I said, because of my fingers, I'm having a really hard time doing this. It's kind of too fiddly for me right now at this state of my hands. But I did want to show you how you can put beads on there. We'll try one more. I don't know if this is going to go over the needle or not, but we'll try it. After you anchor that bead down, then you come up pretty close to where it was, and it's fairly secure there. Then when you want to add another bead, I don't know if you can see that or not. Oh, here we are. Okay, I don't think this one's going to go down. No, this one's not going down over the needle. You want to make sure before you start this that all of the beads that you're going to use this needle will go through. Otherwise you'll have to, if you want to use these beads, then you'll have to get another needle that's thinner, and also because the top makes a difference too, because that's often the thickest part of the needle. So anyway, I'm going to leave that here connected in case I need to sew down any more charms or buttons or anything like that. And I'll show you what else I added since I saw you last in part one. Added a button to the middle of that flower. Like the way that looks. This still needs some stitching around here. And here's some other pieces that I glued down. It's a piece of butterfly fabric, some lace, heart ribbon. There's a little watering can. I did a lazy daisy stitch here, and I'm going to make some more of those throughout, and also I will put a French knot in the middle there, and I'll show you how that works. Got some lace. I had a partial daisy here that I used. It was like an applique daisy. Came in a long strip like ribbon, and you just cut off however many you need. The little poodle. Heart, half of a heart with roses. Here's another one of those muslin pieces. It was like a little muslin square that I stamped on. A bird, flowers, some lace. And just in case I want to use this as one entire piece, it's usually a good idea anyway, even if you're not going to use it as one entire piece, to repeat the fabrics throughout. Like I repeated, let's see where else I have this daisy. I'm not sure. Well, for instance, this lace, I repeated that several times. And here. And then I'm going to repeat it again at the end. So same for this this daisy. I will probably repeat it again. I repeated this purple lace a couple of different spots. And it just makes the whole thing kind of continue through. Like I said, especially if you're using it as one piece, like a ribbon to go around a journal, or a tie to go around a journal. And I also repeated this yellow. These 3 yellows came from the same fabric. Okay, and then down to the end. Actually, I got pretty much everything glued on there. I don't have everything stitched yet. But I was going to show you on this lace, if you want to get that raggedy look to it, and I'm going to put this on. I'm going to put this on the edge, so I'll do that, and I'll show you how you get that raggedy look to it. And you can also put lace on the back of your muslin and have it come peeking through. For instance, if you wanted, this lace is a little bit too wide for that, but you could cut it down, and if you wanted it to peek over the side like this, then you just glue it down to the back. Of course, you would cut this part off because you wouldn't need all of it. And that's a pretty look too, coming peeking out from the back. If you're going to sew on another piece of muslin, you might wait until you're finished with the front, and then when you sew on the piece of muslin, then you can incorporate that. And I don't hem it or anything like that. I just would put it over the top here, and I would stitch it close to the edge, being careful not to hit any charms or buttons or anything that are in the way. You could even hand stitch it down too if you're so inclined, or glue it. And I have glued them many times. And at that time, you can incorporate, this little part that hangs over. You can incorporate that into your design, such as that. It makes it wider, of course, but whatever look you're going for. And if you're planning on using the roll to cut off and use as separate parts in a journal, like pockets or embellishments, then you probably wouldn't want to put the backing on. If it was a pocket, you might want to just back it with a piece of paper to make it more sturdy, if it was a small area. Okay, so to get this lace looking raggedy, this is just crochet lace that is machine made. It's not old or anything, it's just, so I would try to, it's kind of almost too thick to rip. I tried to rip it, but I wasn't able to. So what I would do is I would take my scissors and start, and then just kind of make a motion with my scissors outward to tear it. And you get that raggedy look from it, and then you can continue to root around and unravel it till you get the look you want. So that's how I got this piece going on here. Okay, and this is another little piece that I did, another little slow stitch piece that I worked on. And this one I am going to glue down with a little bit of a heavier glue. I'm going to use and this is just a small container of the art glitter glue that I made up. I like this because it controls how it comes out a lot thinner than out of that art glitter glue tube. And then by keep refilling it, then you don't get it stuck as often. Okay, I'm gonna put that down. I can also, if I want to, I can put some stitching on here, which I might stitch this to the lace or something like that. What did I do with that small piece of fabric that I had? Well, here's another piece of the pink, which I could use somewhere. Oh, now I can't find it. Oh, okay, well that's about right. I'm going to put this lid back on this glue before the tip dries out. Okay, maybe not. There we go. Okay, let's see what else I've got that I can use. What I wanted to do is I wanted to put something up here. Maybe I can have a piece of that. Another piece of this this fabric that has a picture of a little flower. I don't want that blue in there. I'm going to see if I can put that underneath. Okay. Oh, that's better. And glue that back down. Just to hold that a bit until I stitch it. Okay, I'm going to go back over here. You don't have to always start at the beginning, but I was going to show you how to do the French knot on the lazy daisy there. And oh, there's that piece I was looking for. Maybe I might include that somewhere. Well, I've got it in case I need it. My bigger needle, I have it threaded with some dark red, so I'll put that in there. And this is 3 strands on this one. So if you've got 6 strands on your embroidery floss, you can make kind of a bigger, thicker French knot, and you can go around it just like 2 or 3 times. If you have a thinner thread, then of course if you want it to be thicker, then you can go around it about 3 or 4 times. I'll try 4 on this one. Okay, and then I go down into the center and pull it. Okay, and then sometimes most of the time I'll stick my thumb nail right in the middle of that to kind of fan it out a bit. Okay, now I have some of this red left on here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up over here. Uh-oh. Oh, I about lost that. And I'm just going to do a running stitch along this edge here. Now this flannel, this butterfly is made out of flannel, so usually with a thicker fabric like that, you can just go down once and then you'll have to come back up again. Whereas with a thinner fabric, you can usually go in and out a few times. Let's try this just this one time. There we go. And it's okay to go across the design with your stitching too. You don't have to stay within the sides of it. And in this particular case, this butterfly is cut off at the edge anyway, so it's okay to go through it this way, or even through the middle of it, or back down through the wing the other way, whatever seems right at the time. And just in and out. This is called the running stitch. If I wanted to, I could put a button up here for the butterfly's head. This one is too big. You can tell that right there from that. It's much too big. So I'm gonna, if I do want to do a button, I'll wait till later to put it on there. And I'll continue on with the darker red. And don't worry too much about how fast, or excuse me, how wide apart your stitches are. Actually, the reason this is called slow stitching, and I read this not too long ago, is because it's supposed to be like relaxing and kind of like yoga or meditation. As you go, you can kind of meditate, or I'm going to see if I can put this black lace underneath that butterfly to get it sewn down. And that is a little bit thick, pulling it through. I'm almost at the end of my thread, so I'm going to have to end it off. Okay, let's see how much further I can go with this. If I can go all the way over or not. Okay, then I'm gonna try to end on the back, just in case my thread pulls through, then I'll be on the back and it won't be as much trouble. Okay, then I'm going to pull my thread back, and I'm going to go in a couple of times to secure this thread, and then just pull it out. I can always cut these later, but just for now, so they won't come undone, I'll put them like that. Okay. Now this one has a long way to go, especially if I want to put some more things on it, as far as beads or some more embroidery, whatever I might want to put on. But I just kind of wanted to give you the idea of how it works. And then of course, when you're completely finished with it, Then you can wrap it around the spool. Okay, and if you want to, you can make a spool that's this width, or actually probably a little bit wider than this width, so that you can wrap it around. You can also push it up and wrap it around the whole way. Just keep spiraling it to go around. There we go. And that's basically how it will look when it's on the spool. This is how it will look if it's all in one place on the spool. So I thank you for joining me today. As I said in the last video, there will be a kit on this that will include, it's a slow stitch kit that will include the 36-inch piece of 2.5 to 2 3/4 inch muslin, and it also will include various pieces of fabric, lace, buttons, charms, things for you to finish it, enough for you to use to finish it. If you so desire, you can substitute some of your own supplies, like different colors of thread and so on, or different fabrics. I'm going to try to make some up that are just like neutral colors, some that are mixed colors, and then maybe some like in blues only or something like that. So stay tuned for that. If you don't have a lot of supplies at home and you want to make one of these, then you could order one of my kits at in my Etsy shop, and comes with most of the supplies you'll need. Not needles or thread, or actually it will come with some embroidery floss, but regular thread, no. So, thanks for joining me today. I wish you all peace of mind. Take care.